fleshies. I got invited to church by this evening's fiend. I might take him up on that, but I think Nature Guy X46 should stay home. As much as I like the author, I don't want him to end up somebody's snack, if you know what I mean. This story is one that hides the darkness from your eyes. I love knowing that somewhere, lurking inside of random places, are owners dying to return to their land. But now, fleshies, it's time to grab your snack, a blanket, and pull up your favorite tombstone as we dive into Tarnished. On the corner of Wilson and 35th Avenue, the Wilson Church, as it is known, stands over the area. Currently, it's just a shell of its former self. People say it's haunted. Others say it's dangerous. Some claim it's abandoned. Its use to the community has long since passed. A holy place it is not, at least not anymore. At an event hosted by the community at the church, there was a stranger in the crowd. He's not part of the community, nor is he a member of this church. He was an odd fellow. He was tall, skinny, and his eyes were a bit sunken in. And he appears to be homeless. No one spoke to him. He spoke to no one. And no one paid him any attention. 3 teens sat in front of him, and his eyes burned with hunger, a hunger that is unrelenting and strong. He's wearing a black hoodie, black jeans, and a black button-up shirt. His neck has 2 small puncture wounds on it that you might notice if you were observant. They're a way for his master to keep him under control. Tonight, he is here on a mission for his sire. He has been sent here to deliver a message to the pastor. He sits till the end of the service, and then he gets up and walks to the pastor. "Oh, I haven't seen you before. I'm Pastor Alexander Moore." The stranger smiles. There's something a bit foreboding about that grin. "I'm here to deliver a message from my master. He wants you to give up your church." The pastor looks at this guy in disbelief. Your master? Your master wants me to give up my church? My congregation? So you beasts can defile it? I will not give it up. The thing before him isn't yet a full-fledged vampire, yet more like a fledgling, but nevertheless, he didn't like the pastor's tone. He can sense his master's voice. "I'm coming." "I know, master, he's not going to give you the church. The master is about to do something the pastor has never seen before. In his entire life. Give me my land which you stole from my family, or my pet will help me destroy what's here. Once more the man refused as he gazed into the eyes of the pawn standing in front of him. Once more the older vampire speaks through his pawn. Destroy my pet. He watches as the man attacks the church, pulling down the crucifixes. He did so by covering his hands to keep them from burning as he touched the crucifixes. Then a man came up from the basement as the master and his brides arrive at the church. He had one of his brides open the door. The older vampire approaches the door but doesn't enter the church. He looks at the man before speaking. Is the service over? The man nodded his head. I had business with the pastor. May I come in? The man thought it was odd that someone would stop at the church like this and ask for permission to enter, especially considering that they had business with the man. As the pastor entered the church, he turned to his brides. Enjoy, my brides. Find them all. I need to see the pastor. As he moved past the man, there was a loud scream as the brides moved upon the man. The scream was followed by a cruel chuckle from the master. Continuing forward, the master smiles, knowing he's about to win this little dilemma. He pauses as he enters the chapel, then slowly enters the worship area. He heads straight for the pastor. He's hiding behind his podium. With the crucifixes gone, there are no protections now for the mortal. Come out of hiding, there's no use. I can smell your blood. I gave you a chance to get out of this alive, but you said no. Now, while it is much too late. 3 more screams rise up from the basement. The master grins as the sounds echo through the building. Tears well up in the pastor's eyes. Ah, the sounds of screams mean that my brides are feeding, and that makes me happy. And with those words said, he moves toward the pastor, ever so slowly. He wants to relish this moment. He maintains eye contact with the man, and suddenly a wicked grin comes across the master's face as he bared his fangs. Lunging forward, he begins to feed on the man's neck. He has no intentions of turning this man. He simply wants to unalive the man. Once the task is accomplished, he orders his minion to bring the boxes into the basement. Departing with his brides, he leaves for his resting place. And that, fleshies, is the end of part 1. With that, our bloody good tale must come to an end. It's quite a grave situation for those unlucky friends. But for the master and his brides, it's just another fantastic night. They certainly know how to put the fun in criminal, don't they? As for our dear author, Nature Guy X46, he sends his regrets for not being here for this one. He was tied up preparing for a stakeout. You know, editing his next story. Of course, a sensible choice, as we wouldn't want him to become the undeadline casualty, or worse, a late night snack. But don't get too drained, my fleshies. If you love this cryptic opening to our little tale, you might not want to miss the next installment, where we dive even deeper into the darkness. Join us for part 2 of Tarnished. Until then, stay safe. Avoid old churches. And have pleasant nightmares, fleshies. Until next time.